Hi everybody, so today we have a Charlotte Tilbury holiday launch and I've got for you the face palette in the fair shade and I've got the Plumpgasm, just one of these because they're the only two new products I know of. Everything else I've seen in this holiday collection, very much products that are already in the Charlotte Tilbury range, but they've been packaged into bundles so you can save a bit of money and pick those up. But I've only picked these up because these are the ones I don't have. I love the Plumpgasm, so I had to get this new shade, and I didn't get the deeper shade of this. I've just got this one in fair because this is the one that should work on me. So I'll be showing you swatches of this and we'll try it on, see if I can do a full face with it. And most importantly for me, can I make this work when I'm cool toned, because the bronze doesn't really look like it would work on me. But if you're watching and you've got medium, fair to light, or you've got warm skin tones, this could be perfect. So let's find that out for everyone really. Can I make it work? I'm very interested, I'm very intrigued to find out. So if you're new here, hi, my name is Hannah, I'm 48, I'm not a professional, but I am somebody who loves makeup and beauty. And here on my channel, I show you the latest releases, my favourite looks, and give you any beauty news you might be interested in. If you think you'd enjoy this content, I would be delighted if you subscribe to my channel. I do get a lot of people tuning in, but they don't always subscribe. If you could, it would be ever so helpful, it really would. But if you already subscribed, welcome back. I truly appreciate you. And my skin tone, as we've already mentioned really, I've got fair to light skin with cool undertones that lean a little bit neutral, and I've got blue eyes. Anyway, that's enough about me. Let's dive straight into this review. So the first thing to do with this is show you my swatch video. So here is my swatch video. So there it is, what do you think? And as I mentioned, I didn't get the deeper one, but Rebecca, my partner in all things beauty across the Atlantic from Not Fit for Print Beauty, will be reviewing the deeper shade. So as soon as Rebecca gets her hands on this, she will be reviewing it. So I'll pop a picture up now of the swatches and the picture of the actual palette. So this one is called the Dreamy Bronze Beauty. Tiny bit of information for you here. We have, you can brighten with a warm tan with silver shimmer, enhance with a warm copper with pink shimmer, smoke with a rich burgundy matte. Then you have awakening airbrush flawless finish in light peach to brighten and colour correct. You have a bronzer which is a tan brown in a new formula. There's a matte blush which is a pink terracotta matte, and a glow blush which is a warm copper shimmer. So that's what you're getting in the palette that Rebecca will be showing you. So please do hop over to Rebecca's channel, say hi from me, and enjoy the video as soon as Rebecca has it. I will actually put it into my description whenever it's launched. So this video might go out before Rebecca's, I'm not sure, we'll wait and see. But as soon as I've got a link, it'll be added into my description. But in the meantime, keep an eye on Rebecca's channel for that. But today I will be showing you this one. To be honest, the other one would never have worked on me anyway. I've got a feeling this one could even be a bit too deep, especially the bronzer. So what are we getting with this one? This one is the Pretty Glowing Beauty. And let's look at the shades again and see the descriptions. So they are numbered, and this one is the Brighten shade, which is a neutral pink with lilac shimmer. Then we have the Enhance shade, which is a cool tone lilac pink. This is also a shimmer. So at the moment, it's sounding very good for cool tones, isn't it? And then this third one here, the Smoke, is a cool toned biscotti brown matte. So this row here, very, very cool tone friendly. This here is the Awakening Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder in a cool tone pink to brighten and colour correct. I absolutely love the powder that came in the heart-shaped palette from earlier this year, and I think it might be the same one. Then we have with the bronzer, the one I'm slightly curious about. This is a medium brown, but this is a new formula from Charlotte. So this could be a hint that we're getting a new line of bronzers in the future. And then we have a matte blush in a lavender rose matte. Then we have this glow blush in a pink champagne opal shimmer. And Charlotte says this is a 5-minute face in a palette. Well, probably you could do it in 5 minutes, but I might spend a tiny bit longer than that doing it. I just very quickly compare it to the only full face palette I have from Charlotte. So this one also has the same name as in Instant Look in a Palette, but it was called Sunset Dreamscape, the one that I had. And I'll show you, there is a slight difference in the layout, and this one has completely different shades. So that's the only one I've got. So you can see the layout has changed ever so slightly. The big difference being really that the cheek ones here, which were smaller, they're now all the same size, all of the cheek products, which I think is a much better idea, to be honest with you, because getting into these with a blush brush is not very easy. You have to use the tiniest brush, so I do think it's a better layout than the original. But I will level with you, I've had this for so long and I never ever think of using it. So I'm not sure if this is something for me, but then I do have a really big collection of makeup and I keep all my day-to-day products on my desk. If I love the look of this, it could be something I could travel with quite a lot, because obviously it's covering pretty much everything. It doesn't have a liner shade, so I will need some sort of eyeliner and a mascara. But apart from, oh, and lips, it doesn't have lips, but we will cover the lips with the Plumpgasm. But anyway, on the whole, it's covering an awful lot in one palette. And I do love this packaging. It's this sort of soft cushioned packaging, which is very nice to feel. But it also looks beautiful. It really does. I think it is stunning. Charlotte really disappoints with packaging, and this one is no exception. It is really beautiful. And the price of this, by the way, is £58, which I think is quite reasonable when you compare to things like an Hourglass palette, which costs quite a bit more. I know it's different, but this also has an 18-month shelf life, and it is made in Italy, and you get 22 grams of product in here. So there's nothing left to do apart from try it on. So let's go. The first thing I'm going to try is the bronzer, which is my biggest concern. So I'm going to use my Rapha brush, hoping I can get into this without getting other things. There are other brushes you could use. Look how much is on that brush. That could be disastrous for me. So I'm going to tap off on the back of my hand. I don't think it will be, actually. Let's have a look. It's certainly not cool toned, but looking at it on my hand, it looked really pigmented on the brush. But it looks like it's not too bad. So I'm just going to keep tapping gently back in and applying very, very slowly because of the sort of warmth in it. This is going on really nicely. If this is the same formula as the new setting powder, then this is quite exciting when it says new formula, which must mean we're going to get a bronzer line coming from Charlotte soon with a cool option as well. But this is looking like quite a good bronzer, actually. In the pan I thought, oh, no way. Now, it's not cool tone. If you absolutely cannot wear a hint of warmth on your face and you are superbly cool toned, this could be a no-go for you. But if you're like me and you're cool toned but you lean a bit neutral, I think it will work, because it's definitely working on me, which is fantastic news. It's the only thing I had a concern about. I really don't think it looks too bad on me at all. Editing me here, I just had a thought. The third eyeshadow, the one that you use to smoke, that one is a cool tone brown. So if you use a smaller brush, you could use that if you're cool tone as your bronzer, and you could use the bronze if you want to on the eyes, if you don't want it to be a useless shade, or you could just skip it. But if you like everything else in this palette apart from the bronzer, it could be an option to just try that eyeshadow. And obviously then if you've got neutral or warm tones, I think it'll work as well. So I think it's actually a very clever colour to put into this palette, because most people, the vast majority of people, will be able to make this work, I think. In fact, it's a very nice shade, very nice. Well done, Charlotte. We're off to a very good start here. I will put the other powders on right at the end, I think. I'm going to move straight to the eyes. So Charlotte says, in the order you do this, 1, 2, 3, 1 to brighten, but I wouldn't put that on first. I would put this on first and pop that over the top. So I'm going to break Charlotte's number rule. I'm going to number 2 to start, which is Enhance, I think it says. This is a cool toned lilac pink shimmer, if you remember. Now from swatching these, both shimmers don't show up an awful lot. But I do think that the Brighton one here is going to have quite a nice pop to it when it's applied over the top, which is what I'm really hoping for. Now this is a holiday palette, but I don't think it's designed to be a holiday look in particular. It's a holiday palette as in it's launched in the holidays and it's got a gorgeous sort of holiday top. But as a palette, this is a palette that's going to work all year round for just about everyone and for just about any look, I would imagine. Actually, I really like this shade. That would be quite nice as just a one and done on its own. Let me just zoom in a bit closer for you. Isn't that pretty? Very, very, very light, and I have put quite a bit on there. I am just using a fluffy brush though. Let's see if I can get it to go over my concealer mark I've got there. And despite it being a shimmer, it's not one of these shimmers that's particularly emphasising lines. It's quite a mature skin friendly shimmer, going on really, really, really easily. I mean, we do tend to get on well with Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow formulas, don't we? Well, I certainly do. I'm yet to try one I haven't got on with really, but so far, first impressions, these powder formulas, both bronzer and this shimmer, very good start. This is going to be an easy review to do, you know, because this is such a simple look. It's going to be quite a quick one for me as well, which is great news because, as many of you know, I'm not feeling well at all. It's actually 6 PM here, so if I am a little bit confused and useless, I'm useless at filming after sort of midday and after I've had 2 coffees, which I've had quite a while ago now, so do excuse anything, any nonsense that I come out with. But yeah, that is really nice. What shall I do next? I think I will go straight in with my Wayne Goss number 6 into the Define, is it called? Smoke, sorry, Smoke. This is called Cool Tone Biscotti Brown Matte, if you remember. So let's just take this. So this is Smoke, but remember this is fair to light skinned smoke. So going by how light this palette is, I would probably say that the next one up that Rebecca will be doing is going to be good for light to medium, which makes me wonder what happens for people who are medium to dark. Can they use that second one? And if not, why don't we have a third option? Because this is so light. If you are moving towards the end of light to medium, you're more on the medium end, I don't think this would work for you. Look at all the kickback I've got off that as well, by the way. So be careful. But it's applied very, very, very easily, very easily. It's blending out absolutely beautifully. So when Charlotte says a 5-minute look, I think that's going to be superbly achievable. That's really nice actually, really nice. Very soft and elegant and very simple and easy. If you're looking for something that's really crazy wow, this is not it, which is not what it's designed to be. If you want that, you can go for the pop shots from Charlotte or some of her 9 she came out with earlier this year. Let me take the same shade underneath. I think I can do this with the Wayne Goss. I want it to be a fairly thick line, and I'll probably take a liner to go underneath afterwards. So if I go back in to build up, I'm not going to be able to build up much in the way of smoke with this because it really isn't very pigmented. This is going in like 3-4 times, going over and over and over, and that's pretty much the max I can get from this. And if you look at it again, they really are very light shades. I'm not complaining because this is what suits my skin tone, and I do think lighter skin tones like mine, we do suit light sort of smoke finishes like this instead of really dark ones. I'll just take my fluffy brush with nothing on it now and just go around the edge to tidy up a little. I've actually got my Charlotte Tilbury liner, which I've used so much this year since I got it. It wasn't new this year, but it was new to me. And this is the duo one that's got the one for the waterline and the one for the one for lining. And this is in brown. I think I need to sharpen it actually. I have used this so much. I think I do. Funnily enough, the only sharpener I've ever trusted is this one from Charlotte Tilbury, which has the 2 different ones. I got this years ago. I don't know if it's still available because it's so good if you can find it and you're ever looking for a good sharpener. I'm going to take a little bit of the liner here, bring it up for a bit of a wing, and then across to the lash line there. I don't want to go mad, but I just want to do this before I add that shimmer on the top. And now I'm going to take the number 1, the Brighton shade, the neutral pink with lilac shimmer. Now I'm going to pop this. I'll start with it in the middle to show you if you just do a pop in the middle, but I think I'll be taking this all over the mobile lid. Can you see that lovely pop of shimmer in the middle there? Maybe we'll just leave it in the middle, I don't know. It layers nicely on top of the other shimmer, the 2 of them work together nicely. So if you just want a subtle bit, that would be enough, that little touch in the middle. I'm undecided whether I want to take it all over, I'm not sure. I think what I will do though is take it on my BK Beauty 207 brush into my inner corner because I think it's going to be perfect for that. Yeah. We do also have the highlighter option, which I might try for under the brow at the end. Or I'll just go straight for it now actually. So we have the highlighter shade here. This one's a pink champagne opal, which would also be another option for shimmer on the eyes. So you've sort of got 3 eye shimmer options here. Oh yeah, that's perfect for under the brow I think. It's a very, very simple, easy look that I really like. Really like. That is just so easy and very elegant I think. So I'll just finish off my eyes. I'll just curl my lashes, and seeing as we're using Charlotte Tilbury, I might as well go in with the Exaggerize, one of my favourite mascaras, but this is getting a bit old, this one now. I do have a backup somewhere, but I haven't changed it for ages, so I don't know if it's still good. But I do really like this because it does manage to exaggerate my really tiny lashes. I mean, look straight away, you can see them, which I think is quite impressive. I always forget that I've got a discount code for Charlotte Tilbury. I always forget to say at the beginning, so I'll put that on the screen for you now. You can get 15% off, and it should work on her store in the US and in the UK and possibly elsewhere. I'm not sure. If it does, please let me know. But yeah, 15% off, but you can't use it more than once, I don't think. So unless you have multiple accounts, hint hint, you can only use it on your first purchase. Just look at the difference between one eye done and the other eye not done. It is quite massive for my eyes. The only thing I would say about that mascara is if I go in for a second layer, which I did when I very first got it, and I quite liked it because it really doubled up on the sort of impact. But if I do now, I find it gets very heavy and clumpy and I don't like it, so I stick with the 1 layer, which is actually plenty. I do think it's got more effective over time as the formula has changed. So yeah, so there we go, there's the full eye look. So let's now, I'll use the same Rapha brush to try this blush. So we have a matte blush here, and this is a Lavender Rose matte. This looks like the sort of blush shade that lots of people will probably really like. I'm using my Rapha Holiday brush, which I apologise for using this all the time because I know it's not available, and I always keep saying every Christmas we get a brush very similar to this from Rapha. I can't put it down because nothing applies blush and bronzer quite as beautifully as this brush, so I really hope we get another one, and if we do, grab one. Honestly, investment absolutely worth making, because if you follow me you know I rarely do anything without getting this brush out. Anyway, the blush is definitely quite light, but that's how I'd like it, and as you'd expect it to be with this sort of colour story. Let's see if I can build it up a little bit. Yep, it's building up there. Now I don't like to overdo blush anyway, and I don't think anyone buying this palette would really want this to be more deep than I'm getting. If you do like a really rich deep blush, this probably won't be your favourite, but I am getting plenty there, look, it's not bad at all. And you could go for a more dense brush if you wanted more than this, but I certainly don't feel I need more than that. It's actually the perfect amount of blush, and rather a perfect shade, again, that I think will work on lots of skin tones. So certainly anyone watching this who's always complaining about lack of cool tone options, I think this palette is actually very good for cool tone, but it's also going to be very good for neutral. I don't know about super warm tones or olive, I don't know. As I always say though, do you have olive undertones if you're in the fair to light range, or do people with olive undertones usually start more in the light to medium? In the fair to light, I don't know. Just sweep a little bit across my nose here. These formulas, absolutely brilliant. I don't want it to be too perfect though. I'd like to leave the edges a little bit less perfect so I can try out this powder. So I'm going to use my, it is going to be a bit big for that. Let me use my smaller Buffer Pro. Buffer Pro. I've got a buffer brush from Victoria Beckham. I've also got a smaller one from Sonia G somewhere. I'll go with Sonia G because I've been sticking with the natural brushes so far. So this is the Sonia G Mini Sheer Buffer. So I'm going to take the powder on this. And now just go around the edges to buff. Yeah, that's really good. Absolutely love the one in the heart shape. I've kept it here every single day since the day I reviewed it, and I use it whenever I need to fix a pink or reddish pink type of blush. It's just the perfect powder for that smooth finish. Sorry, Florrie's barking at everyone again. Look how it softened the edge of that blush without me needing to do anything really. I love it, and it has to be the same. I mean, I'll hold them together so we can just check, but I would imagine it is. The description is the same. So there they are. If you look at them side by side, I think they probably are. I'll just look at them on my fingers. It seems slightly more coloured, the bit less opaque. This is the one in the face palette, and this is in the heart one. Here's the face palette, here's the heart. It does look a bit lighter actually. I don't know, but they seem to work exactly the same way. So the only thing left to try is the highlighter. I can get a fan brush into this, so I'll stick with my Victoria Beckham fan brush. So this one is synthetic, but I love this one. So let's try this highlighter now on the top of my cheek. Very subtle. Take a bit more. Oh, I can just see it now, just see the slight touch of sparkle. I think I'm seeing a tiny bit of glitter coming up on my face there. Tiny. I don't know if that might have come off my eyes. I'm trying to be hypercritical, but I can't actually find fault with anything I've used today. All I can say about this palette is it's quite perfect. Every powder has performed really nicely, but this is very much subtle. Do you like simple, subtle, easy, everyday? If you do and you like it all in one place, this is absolutely going to be right up your street. This highlighter is very subtle. It's just giving me a small glow. You can see the glow picking up there in the light. Very subtle. Definitely not over the top. Let's take a little bit down the nose. And the Cupid's bow. There we go. That's my full face of this palette. It was superbly easy, and if I wasn't jabbering on and testing things out, it is a 5-minute look. It really, really is. So I think now all I'm going to do is finish the lips, and I will use probably one of my favourite lip products of the whole year, this Duo Blush Duo Liner from Charlotte Tilbury in Fair. So we have a fill side and we have a liner side. So I'm just going to do fill to start with. Sorry, line. I told you I wouldn't be able to speak because of the time of day, didn't I? I was going to say I won't fill my lips because I want to show you how this looks without anything on the lips, but instead of that, I'll play you the clip where I filmed with it yesterday so you can see me applying it without anything. Here's that clip. I've got the Charlotte Tilbury Holiday Plumpgasm. Here is the packaging, and here it is. So this is called Strawberry Chocolate. How appealing is that? I love the Plumpgasms, I love them, so I can't wait to try this shade. There's the doe foot, really pretty. Oh, it smells like chocolate. Oh gosh, oh that's so nice. Strong smell of chocolate. Isn't this shade beautiful? Very light touch of pink. And now the plumping sensation begins, that really deep cooling you get with these. Oh, I love it. It smells so strong of chocolate. It's gorgeous. I love this. And this is going to be lovely on its own, just like this, or on top of something, especially some of the sort of pink lipstick shades that we'll be wearing over the holidays. So here we have Charlotte Tilbury's Holiday Plumpgasm in strawberry chocolate. What do you think of this? So that is my lips aligned and defined. And now we're going to go in with the Plumpgasm, which you've already seen me use. So let's see how it looks as a topper over this. One thing I would say is I put quite a thick layer on yesterday when I first got it, and the cooling sensation got so intense after I filmed, it was almost like having brain freeze. Honestly, I cannot film or speak at this time of day. So my tip is not to go overboard with how much you put on with this, even though it might be tempting. I did put loads on yesterday though. The chocolate smell, honestly, I know I said it in that first clip, but it is so strong and lush. I absolutely love it. That's a very Welshy thing to say then. It's lush. It's lush, it is. There, I will stop because I can feel that cooling sensation, and I do not want to have such a strong feeling. But when you put it as a topper, the effect of the cooling is a lot less. It's when you have it straight onto completely raw lips, that's when the impact can be a bit too much. So if you found this too much, make sure you use it as a topper over something else, and you'll probably find the effect is halved. But the finish isn't. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And it lasts quite a long time as well. And some people don't like this packaging. I absolutely love it. So there we are. That is it. I finished. What do you think of the two things I've shown you today from Charlotte's holiday collection? I love it. I know sometimes we get blush, £4 blushes from Charlotte. We get all sorts of different things. I don't know if we'll get more for the holidays. I know she's literally launched about 15, 20 little bundles. So if you want to get any sort of stocking filler type gifts for people who love makeup, there's some really good options there. So some of her best products bundled together where you can save some money. So it's well worth doing that. Although it could be worth waiting for sales. And one thing, I don't know if you realise, but they have actually started selling all Charlotte Tilbury products on Amazon. And I'll be really curious to see if they come up in the Black Friday sale, because that could be really, really good. So definitely worth looking out for this in the sale and any of those bundles, but I don't know how quickly they'll sell out. So I could say to you, wait. I don't know if this will sell out. What I do know is these don't tend to come back, these sorts of things. They're usually limited edition. I don't know if it says limited edition on the website. I can't see it saying limited edition. I don't know. So this could be permanent. Usually, even if they're permanent, things like this sell out. We know that from things like the Nudegasm palette that everyone loved. It just sold out and didn't come back for nearly a year. So wait for a sale if you're quite keen. If you're desperate, maybe don't. But you do have the offer of the 15% discount code, which you can use, which I'll pop on the screen again now while I remember. But anyway, my overall view of this is a 10 out of 10. It really is a 10 out of 10. Every single one of these powders performed beautifully and did exactly what I expected it to do. I expected nothing other than what I got, and I'm very pleased with what I've got. I've got a simple, elegant, superbly easy look. This is incredible for travel. This really is. I love it so much more than I like this, because this one I just really never went back to. I don't know why. Maybe it was the colour story, but this is such a good colour story for an everyday look, but still makes me feel quite special with that sparkle. And I could put more of the sparkle on. I could also add a bit of this. You could also play around using this in the crease and this all over the lid, and then putting this as your sparkle or this as your sparkle instead of using either of these two. So you could play around and have different finishes as well. So, and this one could be in a corner under the brow shade. So you could also use the face ones for the eyes and swap them over. But and you could maybe try this one as your highlight as well. So you could play around. You don't have to stick to the rules with this, but I think it's perfect. If you're someone who's looking for lots of big wow colours, this is not going to give you that, but we have plenty of that coming. We have the Chanel 9 pans coming, lots of colours coming there. We have the Pat McGrath eyeshadow palette coming, so there's lots of options for that. But if you are looking for something that's going to give you an elegant, simple look, this is really, really perfect. I love these formulas. I think this one, where's the other one? I've got it here because I'm always using it, the Diamonds one. I think I like them the same, except this one smells of chocolate and obviously it looks more pinky. I wouldn't really have a preference, but I love this diamond one and I love this one. I just love them. I really do. So there we go. Well done, Charlotte, because the last few releases from Charlotte I was so unimpressed with, like the foundation, and I'm normally a big fan of Charlotte Tilbury, so at least this time it's gone really well. It's gone the way I would expect a Charlotte Tilbury review to go, which is I love it. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Will you be picking up either of these products, and what do you think of them? If I can find the right one to pick up. I love them. Do you? And do look out for Rebecca's review showing you the deeper shade of this. I think that it's definitely a wise decision for Rebecca to review that one, because this one wouldn't have shown up on her at all, in my opinion. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how she gets on with it. But yeah, I think this is fabulous. So if you've enjoyed this review, I would love it ever so much if you hit the like button, and if you're not subscribed, I would be delighted if you did. But if you already are, you're at the end of another review, and I superbly appreciate every single one of you. I really, really do. And I hope to see you all again for my next video. Take care, everybody. Bye.